Are you live?
All right, yep. Good evening, everybody. This is Brother Washington Muhammad. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm one of the co-founders of the Community Solidarity Response Network, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. If you find Jabril online, tell him what's up. He helped us put together something that we can come together and push for justice in our community and not be particularly aligned with religion or politics. And here we are 7 years later, still getting it in. Man, it's an awesome day for us. Of course, Derek Chauvin was guilty on all charges. So that's what's up for today. And today I am wearing my Justice or Else sweatshirt I got from the Justice or Else. This was the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And I was there for the first Million Man March in 1995 when 2 million men went to Washington, D.C. to reconcile, to really atone for not being the brothers that we said that we were going to be. I came back to Toledo, and hey, that's when kind of Brother Washington really began with that. So here we are. Look, enough about me. I want to pass it over to Jody. If you could introduce yourself, what do you got on? That's a throwback shirt, all right? I didn't know we still had those, all right? Hey.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth. I'm the treasurer for the last 6 years of this wonderful organization that has never backed down and never tired on the work that we continue to do every week, every day, in connecting to people to where they normally say activism does nothing. So again, today we proved that wrong. Still a long way to go, but my pronouns are him, he, and we. I am a cinnamon toned, brown skinned bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and clothing representative of our community, not a corporation or big box brand. The hat is from Filthy Feathers. The shirt, of course, is CSRN, our shirt that you can get on our website and stuff in the correct size that you need to. Again, keychains, and then a whole bunch of stuff from vendors and the books that I write and the artwork that I produced over this last 7 years because of this movement. I also went to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March, and that was right in the beginning stages of, hey, I went to a couple protests, and what does that mean? And to seeing thousands and thousands of people there trying to find a purpose. So, and we got to win. It may not be the end of the situation, but it's a win today.
That's
so
right.
However you celebrate.
That's right.
Celebrate. And it is also 420 to my special herbalists out there. You know what that means. But this is our mission statement. We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer, of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the fact that most often injustices experienced by Black men and women and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement goes without answer. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. Police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we take measures to hold local leadership accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician,
All right, we are back. Oh man, and also, did you know we had Sabrina, waiting in the studio too?
Yes, we do. And
so what's up, Sabrina? We're gonna get to you in a second. But hey, thank you for hanging with us. Had some technical difficulty, but we've learned how to push through that. All right.
And if you didn't get the mission statement this time, again, we do this every week. You can go to our page and see it. It's not just so you can hear it and be happy. It's something that we live by, that we have lived by for the past 7 years. And Brianna is going to take us into our guiding principles. One thing that you need if you're starting an organization, if you feel fueled by today, learn from those who have already done it. Learn from those that have made the mistakes so you don't have to go in taking the scars that we dealt with.
All right. So if you can introduce yourself, what do you have on? And hey, let's get started with our guiding principles.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brianna Camden. I'm a University of Toledo student. And this year I've been with CSRN as the research intern. I've been very blessed to have this opportunity. I got on a red New York City sweatshirt. This was a souvenir from when I went to New York City and on a service learning trip. That was a fun week. We went to a lot of the different boroughs. So that was a really amazing experience.
New York is awesome. I was there last year.
Yeah.
For all this.
And really getting to connect with their community, and it was incredible. I got on some skinny jeans because I'm not up with the latest fashion, really. So, and I got on some white tennis shoes. I really need to get into more local artists. Like Jody over here, I look like so colonized. I can't believe this.
Hey, that's right. Right.
All right, but to take you into CSRN's guiding principles. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor and working class Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black men and women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly children's lives. All Black lives matter. And are creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. I say, thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we are currently living in. We think to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the impossible. Ashe? Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe? Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe? Principled struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe? Love and self-love is practiced in every element of all that we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indication of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe? 360-degree vision. We honor our past struggles and wisdom from our elders. The work we do today builds the foundation of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe. Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is regular, consistent, intentional, and an essential practice. Ashe. The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership, at the center of our movement, and telling their stories directly. Ashe. Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Brianna, if you could, what does today mean to you? Derek Chauvin found guilty on all charges. What does that mean for you? Because you've been in the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You've been with us in the streets. You're part of the research team, especially when we talk about police reform. What does this day mean to you?
I mean, definitely historical. This is going to be a reference point. I think people will look back at this and a lot of people won't forget it. I have already seen so many videos of the reactions. I can already see myself reading new articles and publications referencing this day. And, I think it's just a day that people just want to focus on celebrating this victory. We understand that there's more work to do, but that we can worry about that tomorrow. Today, Black people, we got so much stuff going on that we just need to take this day, process it, accept this victory, and use that as motivation to keep the work going because we're not done. And this is going to take a collective effort. So
Right.
I'm ready to get to work.
All right. And speaking of collective, we've got Sabrina from New Order Human Rights Organization. Let's see if we can bring her up.
And I do want to say one thing first, though, because we left our audience not knowing what Ashe means. So, for our elder, what does Ashe mean?
Oh, elder. All right. I didn't know. Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. But you know what, Jody? We've got, let me make that. We've got Sabrina, who is is she the spokesperson of New Order? Sabrina, how you feeling today?
I'm a ball of emotions right now. I'm happy. I'm laughing. I'm crying. Um, but I'm feeling good. Overall, I am feeling fantastic. Um, Today, watching the verdict before the verdict, it felt like my heart was just going to explode out of my chest. That's how full of anxiety I was. And then when I heard the verdict, and it's like, it's about dang on time. They finally got it right. So hopefully this is going to stem some systemic change for everyone out there stating that protesting doesn't work in your face. It does work. Um, I don't think we would be here today had it not been from the protests from our predecessors. Things would be the way they are now in the world had it not been for protesting and speaking out against injustices. So right now I'm a ball of emotions. I'm getting phone calls and text message from friends that don't look like me. They're ecstatic. They're crying. Um, my children ran in the room, the ones that are here at the house to hear the verdict. It was something that we watched as a family. I didn't watch the trial because it was too emotional. I didn't want to be re-traumatized all over again. But I think finally, maybe this is a step in the right direction and, and hopefully a catalyst for some systemic and institutional change because it's past due and much needed. So. Are you guys still there?
All right, Sabrina, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. One of the and sorry about the tech. We really gotta work on those people upstairs. All right, man. But you know what it is. All right. One of the oft repeated things that we've been hearing is, okay, he's guilty. What are you guys gonna do next? Well, what do you think, Sabrina? Some of our next steps can be or should be.
Well, first of all, like she stated, we are going to enjoy this victory. It's been a long time coming. We need to process this and take it in. Um, because I'm sure like many people watching this broadcast and watching the verdict, we did not know how this was going to play out. We saw that they were boarding up things, even here in Toledo. They started boarding up buildings in downtown Toledo. So we're going to take this victory and we're going to process this. And then moving forward, we still have work to do. We still have, Adam Toledo here in our own area. We're still trying to get justice for Victor Dale. There's still a lot of work to be done. The work is not finished.
Mm-hmm.
This is just the
And
beginning.
right, I'm getting this the signal that we need to take a break. I don't know why, but anyway, can you talk to me about leading up to this? What type of faith do you think that it takes to do this type of work when everything indicates that it's going to be not guilty? From the we're not anti-police, we're pro-police. From the prosecutor to everybody saying, "Oh, Maxine Waters dropped the ball," from saying those types of things. What type of faith do you think it takes to do this type of work coming from you?
This work isn't for everybody. You have to have faith. Even when you read the negative comments, you see what the people close to you or the peers or even the people in your community, what they're saying about the work that you're doing. Oh, another protest, another march. What are they going to do now? Nothing is going to change. But you have to believe that there is going to be a change, because if we didn't believe that, I don't think any of us would be here. We're not getting paid to be this work. At least I'm not. No extra zeros and dollars went in my bank account. For activism. So, you have to have a passion for this, this type of work. You have to want to see a change. You have to be a part of that change, and you have to put the work in. You just can't sit back and let other people do it. I mean, you can, it happens all the time. But, personally for me, I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to help make a change. So, that's why I got in activism. So you have to keep that hope alive. You have to keep that faith alive, that things are going to get better.
Now, one of my last question. You talked about this work isn't for everybody. I think a couple of weeks ago we had Julian on, and we talked about self-care. We talked about wellness. All right, you are the spokesperson for New Order human rights organization here in Toledo. What do you do to keep it all balanced?
Self-care. As a social worker, I practice self-care. You have to. Sometimes you have to step back and take a break, because the world is an ugly place. The reality of it is that the world is ugly, and if you're constantly watching the news and you're constantly watching the ugliness in the world, it takes an emotional toll on you. So, for me, I lean on my friends, I lean on my family, I lean on my faith. That's how I get by. And sometimes I have to step back, because there are some things that personally, I've been trying to accomplish. And you have to be able to balance. You have to know how to balance everything. Because if not, you do get burned out. And you're no good if you're going to be burned out. So even if you want to participate, you might want to just be in the research department. You might want to, there's always work to be done. We can always use people out here in the field to help do things, even if it's behind the scenes. You don't always have to be in front of the camera. There's always something to do. So, there's areas of interest. Just find your niche, but that self-care is important. If it means being with family, I'm very family oriented. So that is what keeps me grounded. And that's what also drives me to continue to do what I'm doing, because I'm now a grandmother. I'm grandma. So, I'm doing this not just for my family, but for my grandkids.
Yeah, I think I saw that Facebook post. All right, okay, all right. Along with that nice couch you just got delivered to your house, and that big old Ashley truck. Man, I used to get the Furniture Palace truck.
We went there to look. We went there to look.
Are you
Come
gonna
on
hang out
now.
with us?
So,
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back with Julian and Ruth. We're gonna hear their take on today, and also we want to learn a little bit more about New Order Human Rights Organization.
All righty.
So, hey, listen, this is the CSRN weekly video minutes. This is our weekly podcast. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Hey, we are back. Thank you for staying tuned in. And hey, look, if you're watching us online, say what's up in the comments. We like to see that. We like to see that people are engaged. Am I right?
Yeah.
That you're engaged. That whatever we're saying is hitting the right spot. Hey, enough of that. Hey, look, we've got the lead of our administrative corps. We've got Julian, Golden Rule Mac right here live in living color, and that's the Black Lives Matter Awards.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought I stole all of those. How did he get one? All right, all right. Okay, all right. I see you. All right. Hey, listen, I want to really hear from you. If I can hear from you, Julian, and then we can hear from Ruth, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hey, you see, I made the eye contact. Is that okay, boss? All right. Hey, look.
Because you're smart.
Yeah. Okay, you hear that, honey? All right. One person thinks so. All right. But Julian, you and I and Jody were in the car together when we heard all three. We were either going to make a left turn on Monroe Street or a right turn. It wasn't going to be pretty, Wade. All right. But anyway, all right. Either way, all right. We were at a crossroad. I'm telling you.
Oh my gosh.
We were at a crossroad right then. Hey, it's on. We got Jody with us. So, hey, all right. So I was here for all of it. Hey, what does this day mean to you, Julian? And, what do you see us doing next? The whole thing, man, this is a beautiful day for us. What's going on?
A lot. It's an overwhelming feel of emotion and so many emotions. This, wow. It's just, I think of all the work that has had to go in to getting this one guilty verdict.
Mm-hmm.
It's vindication in one way, because for all those people that say protesting doesn't work, for all those people who may think it's a waste of time, I think about the family of George Floyd, and I don't think it's a waste of time now, right? The entire world was watching, and the entire world played a part in getting justice for this Black man's life. And it's almost unbelievable and hard to wrap my head around all that it took for this guilty verdict. But with that being said, I think it's a sign that we're doing the right thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that we need to continue to push to do the right thing, right? There have been calls for systemic justice, right? We have justice for George Floyd, but the call for systemic justice, for the end to white supremacy, for the end of police and state-sponsored terrorism continues. And today we got a sign that we are headed in the right direction. That we may rest on this journey, but the fight goes on until victory is won. Right. And so we must continue to push, to fight, to love one another. I just keep thinking about over the summer, and I think about, like, in 2014, starting off by myself protesting with my hands up for Michael Brown, and all the people that showed up for justice for George Floyd that we never thought we would see at a protest, right? That we never thought had our back, that, we thought were perpetrators of white supremacy and when they turned out to be allies in dismantling this poisonous, toxic system. And I just that's all I can think of. And I just think that the work, we need to enjoy this. It's important to exhale and realize uh, that we do have the power to change the world. We do have the power to fundamentally change our society to work in a more equitable way, specifically for Black people. But it's going to take work. This took an incredible amount of work, but it can be done. It was done, and it will continue to be done. When we talk about refunding Black communities, when we talk about redistribution of wealth, when we talk about equity in housing, when we talk about the unfair treatment in the medical system and with hospitalizations, right? In the educational system, right? There is so much work that can be done. And sometimes it can feel overwhelming, like we will never make it, like it's just too much work to do. But today, if at no other point in time in my life, it is clear that we can win. And I just think of the words of Assata Shakur. It is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and protect each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. So I'm encouraged. The fire has been relit, and let's continue to march on until victory is won.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I don't have to follow all of that. All right. Hey, all right. Next time we'll have you go first, and then we leave the room while he talks. But hey, look, and also right after this, we've got Sabrina, we've got Ceedee, who's the president of a New Order Human Rights Organization in our studio. We're gonna hear from her. But our lead administrative core, the glue that holds all this together. Ruth, what are your thoughts on today and everything leading up to it, from the Black Lives Matter Awards to our college scholarship to, May 30th, Tear Gas Saturday, and now we're here. Man, what are your thoughts on today? What does it mean to you?
So today is, it's bittersweet. And the reason why I say that is because I know that this was a day that most Black people did not expect. We have had a history of 400 years of oppression, of constantly being sold a bill of goods and thinking that if we did the right thing, said the right thing, wore the right clothes, went the right places, that we would see justice. I was watching the news right before the verdict came out, and they spoke with a young Black man, and they asked him what he thought the verdict was going to be. And he said, I'm a Black man in America. I did not expect the verdict to come out to be guilty. And on some level, I think most people were not expecting for a video that showed the murder of a man to be enough to convict the man that murdered him. And that tells you everything that you need to know about American justice. The fact that they watched this video of 8 minutes and 40 seconds, or I believe it was up to 9 minutes of Derek Chauvin's knee being on his neck, and there was still an expectation that he was going to get off.
That's right.
That's what it means to be Black in America. And so, yes, today was a day that justice finally reigned supreme. It was a day that finally Black men were treated as equals in this country. But you also have to know that for every George Floyd verdict, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of Black men and women who have been murdered who did not get that same amount of justice. So we continue to fight. So we continue to push forward. So we know that George Floyd shouldn't have died in the first place.
That's right.
That's the thing that I need everyone to realize and recognize. Yes, it is a day that justice was served, but he wasn't supposed to die. So you have to take that bitterness And you have to combine it with the fact that when he died, we were in a moment in American history that we had not seen for 100 years, where everything was shut down, where all you could do was bear witness to this man being murdered. And that's where the sweetness comes in, that you see that we had to witness it. Mm-hmm. There was no way that you could deny it. There was no way that you could defend it. And even still, you have that inkling that it's still not going to happen the way that you want it to. So I take today as a bittersweet day. I take today as a moment that George Floyd's daughter has some level of vindication. She's growing up without a father, but she knows that her father changed the world. Her father brought Black and white men and women together who were not prepared to come together because of all of the things that was separating us. Her father brought everyone together, whether it was May 30th in Toledo or May 25th in Minneapolis. There isn't. I can't have a big smile today, right? And I think that may be just my own personal feelings about a Black man being murdered and up until the second not knowing if there would be justice. Yeah. Until there is justice for every act of injustice, I will always feel bittersweet. And so with that, I know that tomorrow the fight still continues. Tomorrow I have to get up and know that it's still dangerous to be a Black person in America. And on some level, it makes me kind of proud to know that the safety building downtown in Toledo was putting up barricades because they were worried about that response as well. Mm-hmm. They didn't think, the police in Toledo didn't believe that there would be justice served. And so they were doing everything that they knew to do to keep themselves safe because they knew and they know what the history of policing in this country is. And so until we get to the point that there's an expectation of justice, I'm not going to sit back and I'm not going to say, today's the day that we did it, we won, and drop everything and say, I can leave it for someone else. We still have so much work to do. And so today I will celebrate this bittersweet moment. And tomorrow I will get right back to work.
All right. Now,
Brother Washington, is a statement from the Movement for Black Lives I'd like to read.
Yes.
All right. True justice for George Floyd will come from investing in Black people and defunding the police, not the unjust criminal legal system. Today, a jury returned a guilty verdict in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the police officer who killed George Floyd. At a moment for Black lives, we are working towards liberation for all Black people because we believe that all Black lives matter. We know the current unjust criminal legal system will not deliver liberation, let alone justice. We are sending love to George Floyd's family today, along with the people of Minneapolis and Brooklyn Center, Greater Minnesota, and the millions of people who have acted to defend Black life in the past 11 months since George was murdered. We know many feel relief that the trial is over and see a possibility of hope in its outcome. Yet our communities need and demand more than a guilty verdict delivered through an unjust and racist system. We require real accountability for police and real safety for our communities. We are mobilizing to defund and abolish the police because this is the only way we will stop police terror and bring about real safety. There is no reforming this system. The time is now to divest from deadly policing and invest in a vision of public safety that protects us all. Our righteous outrage at the death of George Floyd ignited a powerful movement that continues to create impact across the globe. Since the uprising began, we've seen growing defund and abolition efforts from Minnesota to New York to London to Los Angeles. We will renew our calls to defund police and keep pushing for our bold Black liberatory vision. We will keep working in the community and with the families of George Floyd, Dante Wright, Tony McDade, Breonna Taylor, and so many others killed by police. We will organize our neighbors and loved ones to build Black power and to call on our elected officials to make real investments in our people. The investments we need include mental health services, universal health care, safe and affordable housing, quality education, living wage jobs, response to climate crisis, and much, much more. Across the country, Black organizers and community leaders are not waiting for policymakers to do the right thing. They are building power through new community relationships, investing in radical mutual aid, creating jobs and opportunities through initiatives that center Black, trans, disabled, immigrant, and poor people's needs, and establishing community accountability processes that offer alternatives outside of racist, ineffective policing. We will continue to fight for transformation of public investments in the people, not the police. We'll keep strengthening community-driven solutions to address violence and cultivate real safety. Join us in power, the movement for Black Lives.
Thank you, Julian. Look, I wanted to ask Ruth about one of the oft-repeated things that she was talking about was tomorrow. You know, getting right back up tomorrow, getting right back into the work tomorrow. And I wanted to ask you, Ruth, regarding CSRN and the way you know we do it here in Toledo. Where do you see us going next? What do you see on the horizon for our work here in Toledo?
There is still a plan to defund the police or refund Toledo, however you want to put it. I don't have time for semantics today. There is still pressure to have a civilian review board through the police department. There is still a plan to have accountability from police officers as well as community leaders. There is still plans to create a system or a strategy in which we can make sure that the resources that are necessary for our communities to be strong and independent and not dependent on the police to exist. There is the ability for many of our communities to be self-sufficient outside of the involvement of police, and therefore we are working to ensure that happens, whether that's through the allocation of the millions of dollars that the federal government has given to the city of Toledo and to the state of Ohio, that and this may be me speaking out of turn and speaking from a point of ignorance, but I do want to say that it is very convenient that there is now all of this money for city council to get a raise and for the mayor to get a raise and for all of these programs to go into place, and yet we still have the same issues that we have before. Like, can there be a solution as to why we don't have grocery stores in every district? Can there be a solution to why we still have plenty of the blue lights in the sky, but we don't have neighborhoods that have a clinic that everyone can go to. We don't have, we have more corner stores and vacant buildings than we do have anything that is actually pouring into these communities. Now, I will say that there is work that's being done to ensure that individuals who are working to build up our community are given access to those resources. But again, there has been millions of dollars that have been misused, I will say, especially when you look at how the prisons or the jails use their resources from the COVID funds in order to have drug detections instead of COVID tests. There are so many things that are overlooked under the guise of protecting our citizens that don't do anything but police our citizens. And so we have to get out of that mindset.
Right.
So that's what tomorrow looks like for Toledo. Tomorrow looks like we are using resources to actually help our citizens instead of policing them. Tomorrow looks like we have these conglomerates of CSRN, of New Order, of what's another one? A Brave and BG that are all coming together for the purpose of making sure that our citizens are safe and have what they need in order to survive without relying on the police. That's what tomorrow looks like.
All right. Right, yeah, mic drop for real, for real. All right, if we could afford one, but I need to go fund me for that. All right, Jody gonna kill me for saying that. All right, but you talked about New Order, and we're gonna bring up Sabrina and City from New Order. Oh, right, and we really want to for CD, and then I want to get back to what is for anybody that's watching this. What is New Order? How did you get involved? And how can people support New Order Human Rights Organization? But I wanted to ask you, CD, what was your take on the verdict today? What does it mean to you?
It, like somebody else said, it was bittersweet. It's the beginning of a new era. I had a lot of people asking me in the past, like, what's going on? Y'all protesting, y'all wasting y'all time. But I like for those people to see that we didn't waste our time. And we're not gonna stop. Just because we got over one, don't mean that there won't be many more hurdles. But we ready for it. We here for it.
That's right. That's right. And I love your energy. Wherever CD is, we're gonna be. All right. I love that energy. I love your fearlessness that you're willing to step up where others are still waiting to find out what happened after you step up. Hey, but for you, for Sabrina, what is New Order Human Rights Organization? How can people get involved? How can
Hello?
It froze.
Yep, it froze. You guys gonna have to broadcast at my house. I might have a little better internet connection.
I know. Hey, you know what? We'll talk about this earlier. Hey, yeah. All right, come on. I'm trying to save face right here.
Y'all come up here and sit
this
on
is
this
live, all right?
and hang out.
We could have said that was. Y'all could have cut me some slack and say, "Oh, that was a nice short commercial break." Yeah, it was.
It was planned.
Right.
It was planned. We know it was planned.
Yeah, it was planned. Thank you, Sabrina.
It was.
I see CD on the next protest. All right, all right. Hey, but before they cut our cable off again, all right. But before they, I saw him outside on that wire anyway. All right. But hey, what is New Order, and how can people get involved?
Go ahead, Sabrina.
Okay, well, New Order.
I thought
the internet
New
messed
Order
up.
Human Rights Organization. That's the name of the organization. It was founded here in Toledo by Gerald Rose, and who now currently lives in Atlanta. But like he says, wherever he roams, Toledo will always be his home. So he's been trying to get another chapter started in Toledo, and we finally we joined the organization, and we're finally getting things going. People can reach out to us. We do have a phone number that CD will provide. We also, like you guys, we take donations. Again, we are a nonprofit organization, and you do need money, to support what you do. Gerald travels all around the United States to hear cases regarding civil rights or any type of human rights injustice. We do have a process. You have to complete a form, submit a form. We just don't jump in. We have to have facts before New Order gets involved, for obvious reasons, lawsuits. We don't go off of emotion. We go off of facts. We have people like you to stand with us. You asked earlier, like, why do I do what I do? And it's because I have people like you guys who I know who are also going to back me up and support me. I feel safe. You guys are, my comfort zone. I'm safe when I'm around you guys. I know, you guys are going to have our backs. And I think that's one of the things that, CD and I appreciate about CSRN. And like Gerald says, our motto is, it's not I, but we. And that's the truth. We spoke before about, being safe in our community, being safe with what we do. And, you have to be around people where you safe spaces, as Brother Washington, you like to call them. So, you guys give us a safe space to do to do what we do. You know, you guys have been drilled, everyone, you know, with New Order, because they have a national platform. I mean, Gerald is everywhere. He travels all over the place. I don't know when he sleeps. I personally think he might be a vampire, but he's always on the go. So, you know, his energy fuels us. What we see in the news and in the world, that's what we go on, because we want things to be better for our city. Again, you can't sit back and expect other people to do the jobs that we need to be doing, because nobody is going to fix things, you know, for us but us.
Yep. I know that's right.
All right.
Now, what about that phone number? Because there's people on our podcast that may want to support more than one organization, and
Absolutely.
and it's enough.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and it's enough for this to go around.
Right.
But we.
Right.
That's right. That's right. I have that phone number.
He's stealing all the good parts.
I be listening to the wrong
No.
I be listening.
Hey, okay. I was trying to get a loan from him. I was gonna say,
Hey, I just donated to MAP. I'm tapped out for a minute.
That's why black people can't have that.
That's why they keep cutting off this tree.
That hurt. that hurt my heart. Look, all right. I'm getting a side eye from Rick. Then we gotta go to break. But before we do that, Ceedee, how can anyone get in touch with New Order Human Rights Organization right here in Toledo?
I will give you the 800 number. They can also contact myself or Sabrina, or any of the members that's locally in Toledo. They can contact us, and then I have the 800 number. They can call this number if they want to join, if they want to donate, or if they feel like their human rights have been violated and they want to file an application to have us work with them. And that number is 1-800-346-5138. That's 1-800-346-5138.
And thank you, Ceedee. Hey, listen, hang out with us if your schedule permits. We're going to take a short break, come right back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes, our weekly podcast. Come right back.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober-safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN Video Minutes. We have on the side, we've got Ceedee and Sabrina. Hey, we're about to wrap this on up. Hey, Jody, we wanted to get your last thoughts, and then we needed 5 minutes of heat, and then we're closing out with, are we closing out with Brianna, or are we closing out with Ruth? Okay, all right. Hey, all right.
Just got the finger.
Hey, yeah, all right. That was the wrong finger, but it's nonetheless. All right. Hey, I think she meant that I was number one. All right, okay. Jody, your final thoughts on this. I understand that it is a bittersweet win for us. Your final thoughts, and what do we have for 5 minutes of heat?
Okay. So, I think as an organization, individually, we have said a lot. Me personally, I haven't watched TV or news in almost 15 years. So while this was going on, it's kind of my self-care, how I do stuff, but I don't need to watch stuff being done. That's kind of the motto of my life. I show up to places, I do a whole bunch of things, I fund things, I organize things, and start organizations. Actually, today I was brokering a deal between a restaurant and an artist group that's going to help artists and stuff get their name out and word out and stuff like that. I like to be behind the scenes. The world has enough of me with my books and my artwork and the organizations or the boards that I run. So I try and facilitate stuff. I have the next, up until about August, planned for city events and stuff like that. Also, I'm an elected official, the Central Committee precinct captain. So it's not just, I don't get a break in a way. So I was in the car with them and explaining to them about the stuff that we're about to do as an organization. And we still got the passport program going on here within the next couple of months. And I heard it on the news. And for me, again, I didn't know it was the actual verdict. So it was kind of shocking. And watching them and their reactions, and then how the rest of the day has been. We actually do have news in the room. So while we're recording, they were recording too. So you'll see that on 36 and 11. Shout out to y'all. And the other station that called us right before our podcast. Now, for me, I guess I'm going to take it akin to more of Ruth's opinion. I'm happy. I'm elated. I did not expect this because of all the cases before this. I mean, recently we just had Breonna Taylor, who they gave him some money and all this stuff, and just said it's just been a slew of people that did not get justice. Even right now, we've had 4 or 5 people within the last couple of weeks that are we going to really have to go through this process again? It's been a year.
That's right.
It sent a lot of my friends to the hospital for one reason or another. It sent me, especially because of the pandemic, you can't really get out to express your feelings. So protesting was good, but it's what you do afterwards. My personal experience with as an activist, is my mother was murdered, a serial killer. And even though it was, I think, 2.5 years later, they finally caught him because somebody escaped and all of that stuff, I didn't answer the news. So when it came time for the trial, I didn't go. That was 19 years ago. I'm not sure exactly how many life sentences he got or what happened. I looked his name up one time in my life. And this is before social media. So my prayers and thoughts go with the family. Because as we're all celebrating, it's again, your loved one is not coming back home. There's no amount of money, no guarantee, no nothing that's going to give them back to you. Every holiday, every celebration, every time somebody brings them up, where are they? It's a hole that's missing. I don't think social media helps in the terms of the family. As far as movements, it's been great. It's helped a lot of people come out of their shells believing that, again, protesting does nothing. Talking to people and holding a sign does nothing. And even in our own personal city, we've changed. And even though it was pushed down, we gave our literal lake, rights to not be poisoned by pollutants. We went all the way to, what was it, the Supreme Court?
United Nations.
United Nations. And that's, as Ruth said, I'm going to celebrate today, besides the dates and numerical stuff and things. But tomorrow I'm going to get back up and go to work. I'm going to continue to talk to artists and venues and places and try and help them build something that can't be taken away. And if it is taken away by some injustice, that they have something to leave their families, because that's a lot of things we forget too. Not everybody on GoFundMe or something like that is looking for a handout. It's really difficult to deal with that person not being there. So, that's kind of my feelings on things that I hope we celebrate, and I hope tomorrow you'll get back up and continue doing your work. You don't leave that kid out there. We just had a community city town hall forum on gun violence. Same thing. It was great. It was awesome. I've been to 9,900 of them with pretty much the same outcome. Tomorrow, we do the work. So I hope the work will still get done. I hope you don't celebrate to the point to where you do get locked up, because they're pretty sore. I'm betting they're looking for any reason now. So he's got a bonfire. I'm lighting a cigarette. That's a bonfire. I'm shutting up. I'm shutting up.
Okay, yeah.
But
Because I'm going down there. All right. 5 minutes to eat.
Yeah, 5 minutes eating. For people that don't know, I do wear tongue ring and stuff, and I use it so I don't talk too much. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It stops me.
That's a little nugget that you weren't supposed to know, but it's all good. This is CSRN. 5 minutes of heat.
So today's 5 minutes of heat is in honor of my city that is tatted on my arms, in my books, in my illustrations, graffitied across as many places as I could take her. Toledo. Yesterday was 419 Day. For those that know the area code, that is our area code. And we've been celebrating, I think it was the proclamation was in 2012 to where you made 419 Day an official day. True. Pandemic, all that stuff. You can't celebrate how you want to. But we're seeing maybe a good spring, summer if people stop licking things and touching things and stuff. Hey. I ain't telling you what you put in your arm or not. That's on you. Don't ask me for nothing about that. But stay healthy and immune. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. You read the playback.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
So
5 minutes to eat. All right.
This piece is called "This City I Come From." Let's begin. It's also one of Julia's favorites.
Yes, it is.
Begin. Peace. This city I come from, this city I come from. T-Town, 419, the glass, Frogtown, the mud, Holy Toledo. Better watch your back. It's filled with so much controversy, attention, and doubt about the people, yes, the people within, and the crimes that we only tell our friends about: our water, politics, roads, nightclubs, public housing, school systems, and people, yes, people who really ought to just be friends. This city I come from is filled with so much murder, yes, murder and senseless death, from cousins killing cousins and people that didn't know each other until they seen their family, yes, their family getting dressed. This city I come from has so much potential, yes, potential and new growth, but very few see that because they want their pockets, they pockets to show them the path of new hope. This city I come from, this city I come from. T-Town, 419, the glass, Frogtown, the mud, Holy Toledo. Better watch your back. It's truly my home. It's like no other place that I've been on my own. Home of the $5 bag for $4. Hey, yo, you know we had to get Rellos. Promoters that don't even show up no more, because they last 4 shows, there was no one at the door. Women that are just as bad as men when you tell them, hey, I only want to be your friend. So they run around town spreading lies and telling people of how you mistreated them. People that will sell you a dragon's tail, if only to make a sale. Like, yo, you know, if you buy 12, and if you don't like the weather, just wait a day or two. We go from rain to sun to hell to shine to tornadoes and shine. And believe me, my friend, that is true. This city I come from, if you go right outside, yes, right outside of your area code, yo, learn the most interesting stuff. This city I come from has hot art, so beautiful, yes, beautiful and inspiring stuff. Sports teams, museums, libraries, parks, artists, yes, artists you never knew existed. whose music, voice, and talent will have your very souls, yes, your very souls lifted. This city I come from, Art Tatum, Jamie Farr, Anita Baker, Gloria Steinman were born, and many more were born here. We have an amazing park, beautiful zoos, mind-opening library, and artists, just artists in every form that ever existed. From glass to portrait to building to skin, orchestra, solo artists, dancers, writers, actors, even print. Around every corner, there's a story. It's a story you never knew to be true about people, yes, people that gave their lives just to see others to survive and want no fame or glory. Just know that we paid our price in blood, sweat, tears, and pain, yes, pain, for others to see another peaceful day and night without pain from blame. This city I come from, yeah, this city I come from. T-Town, 419, the glass, Frogtown, the mud, holy Toledo. Better watch your back. There's only one man's, just one man's point of view. But my name is Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as spoken truth. And I hope that I painted a decent picture for you in peace.
Wow.
All right. Hey,
Every
listen,
time.
listen, everybody. As we close out with our solidarity pledge, if you look in the banner that's scrolling to your left and my right, you can support us through Cash App, CSRN 419, PayPal CSRN 419, or just inbox one of us. Hey, we'll come and pick up the check. Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, let's close out with our solidarity pledge. We've got.
So we're gonna have everybody come on, speak on in.
Can they all fit?
They can all fit.
Oh, man, okay,
We
all right.
got
Let's
room
see.
right there. We got just a little bit.
All right.
So we can see his head. As long as we can see your head, you good.
Okay, okay.
You
Yeah,
need to have,
see him on that
if you
side.
want to, you can come in here.
All right.
Let me.
I'm good right here.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, all right.
I,
Say your name.
Jody.
Sabrina,
Pledge to strive.
Pledge to
let's strive
To love my brothers and sisters.
To
to love my brothers and sisters
As I love myself.
As
I
as
love
I love
myself.
myself.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Jason.
Sabrina,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to strive
To study.
To
to
study.
study,
To improve myself.
To improve
myself
Spiritually.
spiritually,
Mentally.
mentally,
Morally.
morally,
And physically.
And
and physically.
For the benefit of myself.
For
For the benefit of myself,
My family.
my family,
And my people.
and my people.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Sabrina,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to strive
To be part of the solution.
to be a part of the solution,
The process.
The
process,
And not the problem.
And
and not the problem.
I.
I,
Say your name.
Sabrina,
Pledge to strive.
pledge to strive
To give all that I can spare.
to give all that I can spare
Of my time.
of my time,
My strength.
my strength,
My energy.
and my energy
To achieve.
to achieve
The above said.
the above said.
Give yourself a hand. Great job, New Order. Great job, CSRN. And remember, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter. Yes,
and
yes,
Black
yes.
lives can't matter until
All
Black lives matter.
Right.
Justice or else.
Peace. Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Victor Dale Jr.